Okay, so finding a nice comfortable seat. I have my foot is acting like a block or a pillow, helping me keep my not so good and leg elevated. So you can always grab a block or a pillow or something. Just make sure your seat is comfortable, really comfortable. Good. Okay, and that you're on your sit bones. Sometimes we kind of lean forward or lean back. So maybe do that for a moment. Lean forward and then lean back. Maybe one more time. Lean forward and come back. And then kind of find that place right in the middle before you start that forward lean. Our legs will often make us tighten right there. Good. And then hands into the heart on children. With gratitude, we salute all the great yoga masters, past and present. Special prayer of thanksgiving, the Baba Hari Das. With joy, we recognize the excellent wisdom teachings of yoga, and with vigor, we dedicate ourselves to self-transformation. So what do you need today for self-transformation? Just letting your eyes fall to the floor or letting your gaze close completely and just thinking, what do you need today? Noticing what pops into your mind and then prioritize. And then repeating it to yourself 3 times as if it were already happening. And then I'm going to chant an Om. My voice will break off because I have noise suppression. So join me wherever you are. Make your own Om. And then waiting for an inhaled breath to flutter your eyes open. And then let's just take our arms toward the ceiling, but really slowly. Elbows in front initially, just in front. And then when you get a little bit above your shoulders, take them to the sides. And then continue to let the arms just climb up for a moment. And for just a moment, just a little reach toward the ceiling out of your left side. Just reach up with your fingers as if you could grab something. And then a little reach up from your right side, just reaching up as if you could grab just a little something above your head. Good. And then come back into neutral. And then now hold on to your left wrist and see if you can separate a little more each of those ribs in the rib cage. Good. And then gently come back, really gently. And then once you're in neutral, switch wrist. And then head it over to the other side. Just feeling the space between each of the ribs. And then coming back slowly, really slowly, all the way out. Good. And then let's take our arms behind this and release the fingers there and squeeze the knuckles toward the floor, just opening your heart. Good. And then gently with our head, initially let's just go left, center, and right. Center, and left, center, and right. Center. So you're not moving your chest at all, just your head. Center, and open. Center. One more set. Left, center, and right. Center. And then you're going to release your hands just a little, shake them a little bit out, and then we're going to go right back to the unpopular interlace, the one you didn't take the first time. So now with that interlace, we're going to go down in neutral. Neutral is really important that we pause there, and up and neutral. Think about what this is doing to your thyroid. Giving it a nice little massage. Thyroid is such an important organ for our immunity. This little tiny massage. Sure you pause in neutral. Two more. And then when you're done, just release your arms and hands. Reach out to the side. Let's from the shoulder. Let's rotate, external rotation from the shoulder. Good. And then just pronating the arms for a minute. Adjust the forearms. Good. And then really reach as if you could take your shoulders way out. Good. Just reaching for a moment. And then flip the palms toward me for a moment. And then set your shoulder blades down on the back and down. So really, as if they could almost kiss in the back. And then we're going to start gently bringing our arms in. Just to shoulders. We're not going to take them all the way together yet. And then we're going to flip just the forearms and sweep it back. Good. Excellent. And then we're going to flip again and bring it forward. So keeping them totally on the back so we can't really touch our hands without using the elbows, and then sweeping it back. And one more time toward me. And opening. Good. And flip. And then let's take the arms all the way up overhead for just a moment. Wiggle up out of your torso, just wiggling for a sec. Good. And then bring the arms down front and center. And this time, interlace the fingers with the elbows straightened, not locked, but straight. Okay, just holding your arms at shoulder height. Good. And then press and press. Press and press. Good. Couple more. Excellent. And then just split them apart and let the back of your hands just rest on your legs. Soften your shoulders. I love to do my little Indian head wobble here, just that little head wobble. Feels so good off of my neck. Good. And then we're going to move right now just to the rib cage. So we're going to keep our head lined up. So I like to place my thumb on my sternum and my middle finger on my chin, so that I'm sure that I'm not just like craning my neck to do a twist. So I'm only going to twist as far as my shoulder and my sternum will take me. And then I'm going to come back. Okay? Good. So come back to center, really root down in your sit bones. Good. So let's inhale and twist. And exhale, return. Inhale, lift and twist. And exhale, return. Like build with the inhale. And twist. And exhale. Return. Let's do one more. Inhale, lift. And twist. And exhale. Return. Good. And let's switch sides. We're going to inhale and twist. And exhale. Return. And then inhale and twist. And exhale. Return. Inhale, lift and twist. Exhale. Return. Again, lift. Twist. Exhale. Return. Last one. Lift and twist. And exhale. Return. Good. So just feeling your rib cage now, hopefully a little bit more vibrant. Now we're gonna go on to all fours so we can do our cat pose, our cat cow. I was gonna do it from sitting, but I think we can move to all fours. And knees right out of your hip sockets, not further back or forward. And our hands are in front of our shoulders, our wrists are right underneath, and really big fingers. So spread your fingers like you're gonna spread some of that weight throughout them and not just dump into your wrist. Okay, good. So as you're ready, arch the spine toward the ceiling. Pull the chin into the chest, look back at your belly button. And then come back to neutral, find that neutral spot always. And then tailbone toward the back of the head, back of the head toward the tailbone. And then coming into neutral. So you can exhale on both if you'd like. You can exhale, do the pose, belly to spine, inhale, neutral. Exhale in the other direction. And inhale, neutral. You can add your feet if you want. Exhale. Inhale, neutral. Exhale. Inhale, neutral. Exhale. Okay, doing one more. Excellent. And then finding that neutral spot. All right. Excellent. Okay. And then we're gonna just come back into the cow part where we look like this little Brahma bull, and then take our hips back toward our heels. They're not gonna go all the way. And then we're gonna come up. So we're just feeling that roundedness. We're gonna go just right over our wrist, not past, and do the opposite. So this time we're adding the legs, curling, and then tailbone toward the back of the head toward the tail. Two more. Tuck and push back. Coming back and forward. Don't take your shoulders over past your wrist. And then coming back one last time. And then forward. All right, and then find your neutral. Right. And now let's clean up that peanut butter jar. And I want to make sure you stay in the jar so your hips don't go out further than your shoulders don't go out further than your hips. So we're just cleaning the inside of some peanut butter jar. And then opposite direction. Don't forget the mouth of the jar. You can use your head to kind of clean the very top of the jar. All right. Excellent. And then coming back into neutral. Let's step back with our left foot for just a moment. Just step all the way back with the left foot. Good. And just lift the left foot a little and bend your elbows. And then come back. So nothing fancier. Good. And then release that leg. And then take your right leg back, curl the toes under, press through your heel. Lift the leg just a little to make a long line of energy. Don't kick it up, bring it back down. And then bend your elbows. Keep your Tadasana space, just lowering a little bit, and then back up. Good. And then release. Excellent. And let's go back again with the left. And then we're going to let our right arm come forward. You're going to look at the floor for a moment, not at me, just listen. And then raise your leg just a little so that it doesn't go above your shoulder. You're in a long Tadasana line. And then release your right hand, release your arm, release your left leg. Good. And then let's do it with the other side. Okay? So back with the right leg, but on the floor. So keep it down initially so that your hips don't have a cattywampus yet. And then up with the arm. And then just lifting the leg just enough that you're in a Tadasana. Your feet are toward the floor. And then release the hand and release the knee. Good. So for those of you who are inverting, we're going to go up for just a moment into mountain pose. And for those of you new, that's called downward facing dog in the other world. So we're going to go up into Ujjasen, mountain. And for just a moment, just see if you can hold on for 1 second and watch. I know it's kinesthetic movers, just move right into it. But I'm going to curl my toes under. And the first thing I'm going to do is push back and see if I can get my ears between my upper arms. And then I'm going to lift. And then I'm going to wiggle back until I feel like I have a nice mountain. So not a hill and not a volcano, but a mountain. Okay? So let's see you do that. Don't look at me, John. Good. And then we're going to just walk ourselves to the middle of our mat. Bring our hands to right above the knees. Elbows, glue them back beside you for a moment and begin to look forward until you feel like your back is relatively parallel to the floor, just relatively. Okay, good. And now put your elbows above your knees. Just hold on to your arms. So hold your arms. And then just lower your bottom a little bit more. And then let's come all the way up. Just lifting up. Good. And then hands to the heart. Great. So you may want to switch and come a long ways with me. You may. So that you don't have, I don't know, Sue, if you can go that like the opposite way in your room. Yeah, okay. Just so you're not craning your neck to look at me. Okay. Good. All right, so here we are. We're nice and apart for a moment. So the first thing we're going to do is just put our hands where our hip crease is and poke our bottom out a little and come forward. Again, looking for that relatively flat space on the spine that's around your thoracic area for a moment. It's parallel to the floor. No more. We're not going any further. We're just staying here for a moment, breathing. And then coming up nice and slow. Good. And then let's take our right leg and we're going to externally rotate. Now, find your belly button. And you can either pick up your heel or you can pick up your toes, whichever you want. But one of those ways you're going to go over. And notice how my belly button went from front and center to somewhat with my leg, my pelvic basket. But notice what I didn't do was that. Ooh, my head up, doesn't even like that. Okay, so back heel is out enough to keep you comfortable and stable. Good. Excellent. All right, so for now, let's just keep our arms loose. And all we're going to do is bend the knee. Make sure we can see our big toe and not our heel. A little bit of our big toe, a toenail, or something of your big toe. And then straighten. And don't lock it when you straighten. Just straighten it softly. So bend and straighten. Good. Bend and straighten. And bend and straighten. Good. And then I want you to just bring your body this way toward that leg for just a moment, not going very far. So you've got a little twist going on there in the torso. Good. And then come up. And then on, rotate. Good. And now with the left side. So you may have to use your toes or your foot, whatever you want to use. Make sure that your right heel is kicked out enough to keep you stable. Notice how your belly button now is a little bit over toward the left side. Good. Come back toward me, Patty. That's it. That's it. Good. Okay. And then bend and straight. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. Good. And then we're going to just lean over to that side just a little. We're going to have a little twist there. So I'm leaning here, like to go to triangle, but instead of doing triangle, I'm just doing a little twist and looking in that area. All right, just stay stable for a moment. Bend your knee. Good. And then press up, come up, and then on rotate. Okay. So now let's heel toe, heel toe, heel toe until we feel comfortable. Good. And then we're going to go to the front of the mat. Okay. Good. So just kind of get soft for a moment. We're going to step back a leg into flag pose. So for those of you that know Dvajasana, we're going to step back into that. So I'm going to use my left leg and I'm going to step back into flag. So that means my back heel is up and then slowly my arms are going to go overhead. Good. Excellent. Good. So we're on train tracks. We're not on a tightrope. So the legs are hip distance apart. Good. And I want you to remember how you felt when you were on this side with your right leg in external rotation. Because in a moment, you're going to let your right leg stay to become internally rotated. So we're going to open into warrior two. Good. And now I'm going to pick that leg back up and go back to flag. Good. And then lift out of your torso. So feel yourself lift. And then we're going to drop the heel in and open. Don't let your right knee come forward. Let your right knee stay over your ankle. Good. And then pick up that heel one more time. And here we go. Good. And then one more time, last time, third time's a charm. Good. So we're in our warrior two. Our torso is not leaning forward. We're upright with our torso. Our legs are open. The knee is over the ankle. And we're broad. Good. Excellent. And then last time, let's pick up that leg, raise the back heel. Good. So take a nice big inhale and exhale forward. Good. Now we're going to do the right side, but I'm going to change sides so that I can see you a little easier. Okay. Good. So I'm still going to use the side that's closest to you, but it's the opposite. Okay. So find our Tadasana. Good. And then let's step back with the right leg. Stepping back. Flag pose. So the heel is up. Good. Excellent. And then coming up with the arms and reaching up out of your torso. Good. And then we're going to slowly drop that back heel. And if you look down for just a moment, we'd be on a tightrope. Whoa. That front heel is headed back to your back arch somewhere. Good. Let's pick up that back hip, come back into flat. Good. Sink into flag. Really feel the power of this pose. Pelvic floor is engaged, belly's engaged, arms are reaching. And then we're going to lower that heel into warrior two. Good. Let's go again. Pick up the back heel. Flag pose. Now we're on a tightrope. Not on a tightrope. We're on our regular rail. What is it called? Railroad tracks. Train tracks. And then we're going to lower. Good. Pull in your pelvic floor, pull in your belly. Everything's lifting. Everything's lifting except your shoulders, which are sinking down. Good. And then for just a moment, gaze out over your fingertips. Good. And then let's pick up that back leg one last time on this side. Good. Feel the power of flag. And then take a nice inhale and then exhale to propel yourself forward. Good. Now let's come into the middle of the mat. And once again, Chatushpada Pavandasana, four-legged ghost pose. So we're just going to come over. Let's poke our bottom out just that little bit. Because once we poke our bottom out, I can show you from the side. So once I'm here and I poke my bottom out past my hips, that'll just help me to flex, and then I can bring it back in line, okay? So I'm not going to stay there with my bottom way back in Easter peepee. I'm going to bring it back in line with my heels, okay? Everybody there, kick your heels out a little bit to make sure they're behind your second, third toes. Patty even a little bit more. Blonde patty, a little bit more. Perfect. Okay, and then let's go forward. It's four-legged, so you can put your hands on the floor, but you can also put your hands on your thighs and just let your upper body relax. So either the floor or your legs. Notice your breath. Try to spread the space between your shoulder blades with your breath. Good. And then let's bring our hands up to the thighs. Begin to gaze forward. Bend your knees a little bit. Come on up. Good. And then heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. Okay. Good. So we're going to do that same little series for just a moment, adding a few other things in the middle, but we're going to start with our Vajrasana. We're going to start with our flag pose. So let's start with Tadasana, actually. So finding our mountain pose. Sure. See? Okay, so finding our mountain pose. Good. And starting with our left leg forward. Good. Notice that here, there's no back bend, but when we come up, oh, there's a back bend in your thoracic area, right? And your arms come up. Good. Heel is up. You're on train tracks. And then you're going to drop your heel in to put you on the tightrope. Good. So we're visiting warrior two for just a moment to get a little broader. Good. Make sure your knee stays over your ankle and doesn't drop in. Good. Excellent. And then let's straighten the leg for just a moment and reach. So find that long line of Tadasana in that reach. Good. And then release your arm like a pendulum. Other arm coming up. And then don't put any weight on your arm. Just spread like an eagle about to take off. Pull in your belly. That's it. Right in between two panes of glass. Good. And then we're going to rotate slowly. Then go into reverse triangle. Just reaching. Good. This little triangle here is the one that's of interest. This little bitty one that we create with our hip, our ribs, and our arm. Good. And then we're going to bend the knee. And come into side angle. Good. Let's just sweep the arm down and up 3 times. Sweep and up and sweep and up. Keep your torso open, sweep and up and sweep and up. And then just tuck it in, make it a long line of energy. Good. Take a nice inhale and exhale up. Find your warrior two. Good. And then we're going to pick up that back leg and go back to our train tracks into Vajrasana. Good. Nice inhale and exhale, propel yourself forward. Okay, let's do the other side. So now our right leg. Ready? Take a nice inhale and exhale, propel your right leg back. Good. And right now, you're going to move away that right leg and leave your left leg in external rotation. Hopefully you can get what I'm saying. So open the arms up and there you go. Nice. So bend your knee. Make sure you can see a little bit of your big toe nail somewhere. Good. Pull up the pelvic floor. Selena, pull in your belly. Pull in your belly. Ah, yeah. Excellent. Beautiful. One more breath. Good. And then we're going to lean forward. We're going to lean. Find that Tadasana from your head back to that leg, right? And then let this arm just hang like a pendulum. And then raise up your right arm. Good. This little triangle right here is the one that's of interest. Really feel the prana energy moving in your body. Good. Couple more breaths. See if you can slow it down and make your exhale a tiny bit longer so you have more space for your inhale. And then we're going to rotate back into reverse triangle. Straighten the leg. Should have straightened it earlier. There we go. So this little triangle right here is the one we're looking at. Right. Breathing. Notice how your pelvic floor has to stay lifted. Your belly stays lifted. The breath is in the chest. And then we're going to bend the knee. Bend your left knee. And then come back slowly and over into side angle. Good. So that long line of energy, nose, chest, hip bone, knee, and ankle. Good. And then we're going to sweep the arm 3 times, all the way down and up. So really reaching your chest when you get to the up. Down and up. Let that propel you to open your heart. And up. One more time. Up. And then tuck it in. So really enjoying that line of energy that you've created. Good. Excellent. Great. And then we're going to come up nice and slow. Reestablish our warrior two. Just gazing out for a moment. You can stay gazing out for a moment. I'm going to come and look at you. Good. And then we're going to pick up that back hip again, moving back into our flag pose, Vajrasana. One more time. Take a nice inhale and then propel yourself forward. Yes. Good. Excellent. Okay. And then let's come over into the mat for a moment. Good. So there's just one more little thing that I'd like to combine today. So we're going to go back to that side. We're going to step back with the left leg. Good. And then looking forward, so keeping that back leg up, you're going to twist a little and over. And then just come back and reestablish. Okay. So I want to see you do it a couple of, let's say 3 times. So that was once. Some of you did it And then we're gonna come over. So I'm twisting through my torso. My hips are staying even. My hips are not moving. Look. Okay, good. So you're twisting towards your bent knee. And then coming back up. Lift up one more time. Sink down. Let's put our hands on our ribs. And ribs go over. And then you bend over. That's all that's happening. You come up. And then we set. Good. Okay, let's do it on the other side. Good. So now inhale and exhale your right leg forward into Dvajasana. Hold on a second. Look. Good. So let's try with the arms up for just a moment. Good. And then let's bring the hands to the heart. This is the way we often do this. And then just twisting. Press into the big toe side of your left leg. Come back up. Find your Dvajasana. And then coming back down. Just adding that little twist. This next time we'll put our hands on our ribs. And then coming back. And then just to check yourself, hands on your ribs. So you begin to lean forward, hinging at the hips, find that long Tadasana, and then begin your twist. And then coming back. Let's do one more with your hands on your ribs. Good. And then coming back. Good. And then arms can go up for just a moment. Take a nice inhale and exhale and propel yourself forward. Good. You've done some really good work today. All right. So let's make our way slowly down to the floor. Okay. So we're going to end up in what we call toe balance. It's really follow the foot balance. But we're going to come all the way, and your knees and your feet need to be in the same direction. So if my feet were here, my knees would be here. If my knees and feet are here. So wherever you want to be, but we're going to come up on the ball of the foot so you can adjust yourself. Good. Just make sure your knees and feet are in the same line of energy. Good. All right. Then feel your spine begin to lift up, just feeling that lifting through the torso. And then your hands can just rest gently on your legs. Good. Just notice your breath. And then let's put our hands onto the floor just for a second so you get a little deeper in your hip crease. And then walk your hands around behind you before you take your seat. And then just stretch your legs out. Place my pillow under my sit bones. Good. And then we're going to just very gently lift up the right leg. Place it over. You can always stay here too if that's uncomfortable. But we're going to do the traditional Ardha Matsyendrasana half-loaded fishes. So place it over. Good. And then twisting again. So we've twisted since the very beginning. Let's just see how this Ardha Matsyendrasana feels to you. This is a pose you probably do all the time. So feel yourself. Inhale, 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 lifting and twisting. And then just staying there for a few moments. Continue to open your right shoulder. I'm going to put my chin right over my sternum like we did at the very beginning. And then slowly, I'm going to lift my chin just a little to lengthen my neck, and then take my chin out over. But with a long neck. Just breathing. Feel where the lungs are restricted. Go into your belly. Bring it into the chest and fill out the space between your shoulder blades. And then arc your chin up a tiny bit more and take your chin over your left shoulder. Just a little bit in the opposite direction. Good. One more nice big breath. And exhale, release the pose and a little bit of hula over to the left side. Just and then coming back into neutral. As the old GPS would say, recalibrating. Okay, so just recalibrate everything. And then pick up gently your left leg. Place it over, as long as your foot's down. If your foot's not down, bring it back. Wherever it is great. Okay. And then we're going to inhale. So I'm flexing my right foot. I'm going to inhale, lift and twist toward the side. I'm going to keep my chin over my sternum initially so that I don't have that temptation of thinking that my twist is what my head can do. Good. And then lift your chin just a smidgen before you're going to take it out and over your left shoulder. And then arch the chin just a tiny bit more and bring it up toward the ceiling and then over toward your right shoulder. Just noticing how you're twisting to each direction, wringing out organs, interstitial fluids. And then on your next exhale, lift up on your inhale. And then exhale, release, and we'll hula over to the other side. Good. And then coming back into neutral and pressing through your feet. Let's do one Paschimottanasana, westward stretch, and you can decide which one is most beneficial to you today. So I'm going to lift my knees a lot and just walk myself down my thighs. Tucking the chin into the chest. You're also welcome to work on your hamstrings if you would like. So just keeping out and then coming over. So just, but not pressing anything, not forcing, just letting what happens happen. I'm going to bend my knees again because that one is more comfortable for me and works on my thoracic and low back. And if I continue to tuck my chin into my chest, it really helps my neck and my thigh bone. And then very slowly begin to gaze forward, just feeling your chin off your chest and looking up past your feet. And then come back up. And then we're going to lay down into our Shavasana. So if you want to take a short inversion, you're welcome to do that. We're going to have about a 3.5 minute Shavasana. So you're welcome to do an inversion before or not. So I have to remember to show Shavasana for new folks. Okay. So the main thing for me with Shavasana is don't feel trapped by my mat. If your floor isn't freezing, and you should always have a blanket to be able to put it over you, should you like. But making my body into a starfish instead of a green bean. And then trying my very best to relax everything to the floor, to surrender. Babaji said this was the hardest pose of all, just letting go. Relax your jaw. Your lips may part slightly, nobody cares. The jaw is the seat of the will. Hanuman, broken jaw, broken will. Soft belly. Let's do a quick scan and relax anywhere you have tension. Just letting go. Slowly and gently bringing your awareness into the breath. Just noticing the rise and the fall of your belly or your chest. Wherever it is perfect. Bringing our senses on one by one, letting your eyes roll in the sockets in one direction and then the other. Letting the tongue roam the mouth, the back of the teeth, the roof of the mouth, swishing along the front of the teeth, and then opening your mouth wide as if you were yawning. Feel a little snap, crackle, pop to the ears, begin to wiggle your nose, and then swim the fingers and twinkle the toes. All of our perception coming in through these five senses. And then as you're ready, maybe consider a nice big overhead stretch. We're going to go over onto our side in embryo pose. You're also welcome to just shrink in and go there immediately. But if you overhead stretch, then bend your knees, lift your hips off for a second, kind of give them a little wiggle, and then shift them over to one side and drop your knees together. Just curling up for a minute in embryo. And then your upper arm. So let's do this slowly. Just placing the hand of the upper arm in front of your face. And then begin to look at the floor and begin to press yourself up. So you're spiraling yourself up, twisting yourself. Push the floor away. And then we're going to find a comfortable seat. Just a little tiny breath practice and a little tiny meditation. Okay. So you want to be soft and easy here. I put one block under my bad hip. Good. So wherever you want to be, it's perfect. Good. And then getting in touch with your breath for a moment. So just feeling where it is. Of course, it's the diaphragm that's moving right in here. But the diaphragm, you can choose to push the organs out of the way as the diaphragm contracts down, or push the ribs out to the side as the diaphragm contracts out to the side. So either way, just finding your breath. And then maybe just placing your hand on your belly for a second. So this is one of the Swastika Kriyas. It's Kriya 6. We're going to exhale, draw the belly to the spine. Really draw it in, use all of your muscles, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And then release to inhale. Don't let the breath rise. As soon as it starts to go up into the ribs, exhale, 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 draw the belly to the spine. And then once it's there and you don't have any more breath in you, release and let the breath come in. You may hear this little reflex gas. Okay, so again, let's exhale, 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 belly to spine. When you're as far as you can go, just relax the belly. And as soon as it starts to climb, stop it and exhale again. So just abdominal breathing. This can help us with any bouts of anxiety, just finding ourselves in this abdominal breathing. And for folks who are anxious, sometimes it's helpful to do a little extra when you're exhaling, going. Pulling the belly to the spine, squeezing, and then all at once. So just finding yourself belly breathing. That's calling online our parasympathetic nervous system. So just into the belly. Good. And then the next time you bring your belly to the spine, bring it in, bring it in, bring it in, bring it in. Relax the belly. And this time just let that breath go back up into the chest. Start it in your belly, bring it up into your chest, what we call a full yoga breath. Okay? So exhale, belly to spine. Release the belly. And then draw that same inhale up into your chest. Back ribs, side ribs, front ribs, all the way around. Good. Excellent. So take a couple more of those full breaths. Belly to spine, belly releases, breath starts there, and then it pulls up into the chest. Well, now we're going to slide into our meditation. If you have an object of concentration, bring it into your mind now. You can rest your hands on your legs. You can take a mudra, or you can rest your hands in your lap, dominant hand on top, whichever is most comfortable. Letting your eyes either close or take a soft gaze to the floor. And then whatever your object of concentration, can be home, it can be the breath, it can be light, bring it into mind. Perhaps it's a cloud, and you're just trying to focus on that thought alone. As the mind wanders, which it is apt to do, bring it back gently, lovingly, kindly. Staying with your object of concentration, hold it dearly. Carrying the movement. Bringing your meditation to a close by releasing your object of concentration. And just noticing where the mind goes. Just noticing. Bringing the hands into the heart, onto the mudra. Remembering your intention for self-transformation, and again, repeating it to yourself 3 times. Any merit we may have earned this morning in our diligent practice of yoga, we lift that up to the all sentient beings. Any prayers, any petitions, anything that somebody needs or you need or something you're working on, you just bring it to mind. And then letting those swirling thoughts in the mind drop symbolically down into your heart space. And from your heart space into the palms of your hands, and then lift them up. Just let them go off into the universe. Just let go. Bringing your hands back into the heart. Hari Om Tat Sat. Namaste.